The Woody Lynn Show.
What a week, everybody! Oh my gosh, what week is it? Is it 2037? Is that the year it is? The date is maybe. Anybody feel like it's already been like 13 months into the year so far? I do. Let's get past this intro so we can talk about it. Welcome to the Woody Land Show. This is my little podcast. Some of you may or may not know, I own a company called Media Squatch that does marketing, content creation. We're kind of a content creation agency, I would say, or a media agency, full service content, media, creative agency. We just do a lot, everything under the sun, Media Squatch. And this podcast is under Media Squatch as the company. This here is the personalized fun area of the company that I play in. Just so you know, this is my little podcast. Also own Grove Street FM. Not gonna lie about that. That's a little that little streaming station is the little station that could. That's succeeding. So yeah, busy. I'm here. I am. I'm doing this podcast. Here we are. We're today's episode. Busy. It's been so many things happening lately that you ever think to yourself what's happening and then everything starts to blur. You're like, well, was this yesterday? Was this last week? That's about where I'm at today. After several long meetings, great productive meetings, but long meetings, your head's kind of fried and it's like, what is happening? So let's do a little recap, right? Let's start with Grove Street FM. Grove Street FM is just doing fantastic. We added the Morning Jam and Doc Rock Radio to it, and ever since then, people have been opening that app every day, listening to the live Morning Jam. Jam stands for Janet and Mark. The Morning Jam with Janet and Mark. Jam, get it? And so people have been using that app like crazy, which is fantastic now. They were using it before, but now they're opening it every morning because we have a live show every morning. So to keep the momentum going, I am proud to say I am booking our sign the lease today on our very first billboard dedicated to Grove Street FM. Now, I am going to use this billboard space throughout the next year for other clients as well. But for Grove Street FM, it's fantastic. This is our really first big thing of advertising. And I'm doing a billboard around the lake here, Smith Mountain Lake. It's where the station is kind of home to. You know, it's good area. But so yeah, we're going to billboard, lake themed. Captain Grover, Yacht Rock Grover is on there. We did an animated billboard that should go up in about a week or two. So I'm super excited. I love doing fun stuff, as you can probably tell. I love doing fun, random stuff. And the billboard is kind of outside of my typical personal advertising revenues for my own personal stuff. I usually do social media. I'm feeling the billboards. It's time for the billboards. That's what I'm feeling. So yeah, Grove Street FM just rocking it. Getting it done. But let's move on over. We'll move on over to a little story today. This has to do with networking, referrals, and you never know where things will go, right? So I love to do animation. That is clear. Okay. Everybody who follows the Woody Land Show, for one, knows I love doing cartoons and I love to do AI art, whatever you got to say about that. Go to Twitter or X and fuss at me like you did before on my other post. Go ahead. I could take it. But I love anything kind of animated, right? So I like to produce random animations along with my client stuff. So with Media Squatch, we produce animated commercials sometimes in different styles. I also get in the habit of trying different things so that I can then offer to my clients. So, for example, just some fun rando animations, Adult Swim type of stuff that just is whatever's in this brain, I got to get out. Okay. So recently I've been on this kick where I want to take kind of pop culture and politics and whatever else and just animate it because it's funnier and then you can kind of reenact the scenes in a different way that didn't happen, but you're taking the audio. So I don't know if it's a term called, but I like taking the audio of a speech and then putting animation over top of it and then doing some fun stuff. So I love doing that. And that's why this may be just clarity for me. That's why I like doing that stuff under the Woody Land show, because it's my own personal playground. It's like, it's just this weird land that I kind of live, that it's really, there's no really party preference in there. There's really no, it's just whatever kind of pops up. I kind of want to do that. Like I want a bald eagle swooping down, picking up Trump from a speech. And then going off. Or I want to animate Joe Biden floating across the stage, smelling the aroma of, well, you got to see the video to get it. I can't say it out loud. So for me, I love doing just odd stuff, but that doesn't always fall under the company umbrella, which I'm not saying it should. So that's why any of you have a question, what's he doing? Why does he have this and that? Well, for clarity purposes, Media Squatch is the company that we do stuff for other people and clients. Like we produce commercials, we produce ads, we do media buying. The Woody Land show is Woody. It's just kind of just a weird experimental. Some of it might be real, some of it might not be. Is this how I really feel? We'll never know. But the Woody Land is just a weird experiment that I have fun with, and it's a playground. So you see content on both those pages. That's kind of why. Now you know. But so lately I've been doing some animated stuff. All right. And we did this with one of the podcasts that's on Grove Street FM, Life, Liberty, Happiness, a while back with Trent Warner's tattoo story, which is probably one of the my favorite stories ever told. And we did animation to that, and it was hilarious. We did the scenes that he was talking about, and it was done to kind of a Family Guy animation style. Oh, it's hilarious. I loved it. I love that. That was a fun experiment, right? So then after doing that, I was like, I really want to do some commercials for clients. So there we go, exhibit 1. So what we did was we did 3 animated commercials for Brown's Heating, Air, and Plumbing in that same kind of Family Guy style. And I'll tell you why. One, these commercials were running on Fox, okay? And on Fox, that is the station the Family Guy runs on, and American Dad. And not copying the style, but kind of like, I don't know, being inspired by the style. I was hoping that when the commercial started, that people would either think that it was a TV show that is on that network or a promo for that, and kind of brighten up instead of saying, oh, it's another commercial. So, and I think they're working rather well. They're actually running now. We did 3 of them. So that's why I love doing like a test thing first in our story, the Trent Warner story. And then, expand it to clients. You do more animation. I've done a Grover animated commercial, but then I started just wanting to play around. One of my favorite things to do is watch Adult Swim stuff on Cartoon Network and just watch random, just the weirdness, Tim and Eric. That's the way the mind works. And that's where I drift to. So I wanted to just create random segments and just release. Okay. No order, no nothing. Just like, all right, I had a thought, animate it or not animate it or put it to music or AI it or whatever and get it out. That's the Woody Land show. That's what this is. It's just the Woody Land show. I have different segments. This is it. So recently on Life, Liberty, Happiness, Trent was telling us about a connection he made on TikTok where he was following this lady called Mommy RN88. Okay. And she does the best Kamala impersonation that you've ever heard. If you close your eyes, you would swear it was her. Okay. That's how good this impersonation was. So Trent come in and was like, hey, have you all seen this lady on TikTok? And showed us a video. We're like, oh man, she's got like a ton of followers. She's hilarious too. Her content's really funny. So then Trent, he would come in like week after week and be like, hey, I actually reached out to her. Hey, I talked to her. And we were like, wait a minute. What are you talking to this like influencer? Like, he's just casually like not bragging at all about it, but just like, oh yeah, I asked her if she'd be on the show. Could she be on the show? We're like, heck yeah, let's bring her on the show. So she was on the show and it went really well. They did an interview and it was so much fun to hear her behind the scenes of like gaining hundreds of thousands of followers by doing this. And then like her outlook on, about the next election, politics, all that stuff. It was just it was kind of just an awesome, like, man, wow, okay. So these influencers that you see with hundreds of thousands, millions of followers, they are actually real people. And they actually have, a normal speech pattern, a normal way of interviewing. It was kind of interesting. But for the show, so she did the interview, and then Trent kind of come up with this idea of like, hey, can you do just a random segment for the show? Just like, something funny for us that we can kind of insert, because we like to insert little bits and stuff into Life, Liberty, Happiness, available in the Grove Street FM app. And she did. So she sent us this call recording that she Actually, I'm going to put the call in here. Okay. I'm going to put it in this episode so you can hear it. All right. Now, when you listen to it, know that you need to go to visit the Woody Land Show on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or whatever. I don't know. Go to woodylandshow.com. That's about the easiest thing I can tell you. Go there, and I've got some stuff on there. You click, you can find the videos. You could see the animation that we did to it. So all I did was I took this call. All right, listen to the call now, and we'll be right back. All right, so let's do the call, and we'll talk about it.
Nancy, hey, listen, it's Kamala. I have a plan. Okay, I have a really good plan. Hear me out. So, the people are angry. The people are angry, and no matter how much I laugh, they don't seem to be laughing with me. Okay? And I think that we should consider, building the border wall. I'll finally get to it. I haven't been to Europe, but, maybe I can make some time to unburden what has been. And while we do that, we trip Joe down a flight of stairs. Now hear me out. We can do it at any time. Either he's walking up or down. Jill is totally in on it. Okay? But, we need to get him out of the picture. And then we can really focus on the cheating. All right, the election's coming up. Don's gaining traction. We really need to start focusing on galvanizing and putting together forth a sense of community in order to build back better and strive to build and cheat better than we've ever built back before. Call me back. Call me back.
All right. You see, she's one, hilarious. Two, she does the almost, it is literally the perfect, not almost, it is the perfect impersonation. So close your eyes. Sounds like her, right? So she did this, and he sent us this recording she did. He was like, hey, she did this recording for us. It's super hilarious. Can we put it in the show? I was like, yeah. And then I was like, man, it'd be really funny if we animate it. I didn't tell anybody. I was like, I'm going to animate it real quick. So our team animated it, and at Media Squatch, yes, we have like 4 or 5 people working for us now. I mean, like 2 of us are local, 3 are remote. Fantastic. I never thought I'd be saying that. That's absolutely wonderful. I love that. I love saying that out loud. Okay. So the team animated it, right? So we get it animated, and it's just really funny. It's just funny seeing the voice to a cartoon. I don't know what it is. So then I posted it. I was like, I'm going to post it, tag her. I have never communicated with her. It was all Trent communicated with. We posted, tagged her. All of a sudden, she shared it. And then she was like, I love this. This is wonderful. This is, she just really super appreciative. And nobody added. It was just something fun, random we did. Well, she shared it on her profile. All right. Then all of a sudden, I open up the Instagram Media Squatch, and it's getting all these likes. And that's where we had posted it. And then that has gotten, I think it's close to it's over 170,000 views right now, just on Instagram. Isn't that crazy, y'all? Like, I want you to understand, from a person that primarily focuses on local content. And yes, I do commercials that may be seen by quite a amount of people, but they're really not like seeking content and, they're looking at TV and seeing a commercial, right? It's flattering, but it's also like they're not seeking it out. But for 171,000 people to see this so far, and it's only been a couple days, it's so flattering, and it's just an awesome, humbling feeling that one, she's super nice enough to spread this and just like help us and share it and just do. I mean, you get a platform like that. It's like, just it's very generous of her to do that. But it's also on this end, on my end, it's like, wow, okay, this is so awesome that people are actually responding to it, reposting it, commenting, and it's just it's a cool feeling. So it's at 171,000. So I had another clip where I had this idea where, so Joe, not to get political again, it has nothing to do with Republican Democrat. It's like I see something, and if it's funny to me, then it needs to be explored. That's as simple as that. It has nothing to do with poking fun or anything. It's just humor, blah, blah, blah. That's it. So just have fun with it. Don't read too deep into it. Just know it's just the weird of Woody Land. That's all I can say. So Biden was on the stage, and while this lady was talking, and he just wandered off. And then he went and sat by a little kid, which it could be a sweet moment, but it could also come across as creepy. It just depends on how you look at it. Well, I had to add a little touch to it. So I animated that. And sure enough, she shared that thing again. And that thing's got thousands of views. And then we did another one of Trump's bloodbath speech. Again, there's no sides involved. It's just hilarious. When you add a cartoon to a speech, it just amplifies the funny to me. It's like, oh my gosh, okay, this is just even better. And so, the power of networking, like, one, kudos to Trent. He gets the credit. He reached out and just started like casually talking to this person. No, like, again, there's no like, hey, can we do this? Can we collaborate? There was nothing like that. It was like, hey, love your stuff. Love it. And hey, can we interview you? And then that's just how it leads. And then I'm hoping, I don't think it's not the cat out of the bag. I don't think. And if it doesn't happen, I'll keep you updated, but I think it will happen. But her mommy RN88, I'm gonna give you her handle so you can just go follow her if you listen to this. But we are going to collaborate on a animated series of her doing the voice, and we're gonna write it. And we've written one episode. She's actually recording it. And yes, Media Squatch is going to produce and animate it. So I am very super excited about doing a non-commercial project for someone else, right? So it's super flattering, super awesome. And just, you never know where the networking train will go. That's one thing that happened recently. Two, so a couple months ago, I get a call from a guy named Vince, right? So Vince calls me and is like, hey, do you know anything about doing a video podcast and then subscriptions? And I'm like, yes, I know how to do it. We do primarily audio, but I didn't know how far to take the conversation, because it was an inquiry. It's like, yes, we can. Well, then we meet, and I'm gonna be completely transparent with you. First, from a workload standpoint, when he met with me, it was on a very work heavy day, right? So on those days, you can occasionally be closed minded, right? And it's like, well, listen, I gotta be really careful. And like, you should guard your time too. Like, I'm not saying to just, volunteer everything. But at the time it was kind of like, okay, yeah, we could do this. You're a nice guy. I love your messaging. You're passionate. I think you do great. And, yeah, I mean, we can try, so he would come in and we would record a podcast. Well, he kept asking about video and I'm like, we really don't do video, really. And then I kind of relented, and I can be hard-headed sometimes. And I was like, well, I just really want to do audio and upload that. Well, he was like, I do better on video. I would love to do video and experiment with it. I said, okay, all right, I can do that. So I do an episode audio-wise, episode 1 for his podcast. And then the second one, we do a video, right? And I add an intro and an outro. I don't edit in between. I color correct it. And then he has a Twitter account, and he has about 35,000 followers, 33 at the time, 33,000 followers. And so we decided, I was like, all right, we do the video episode, we do the audio episode, upload the audio episode to our host, insert ads. The video episode, let's put it on X. Let's try it on X, see how it does. Put it on X. Well, lo and behold, gets a couple thousand views. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. Okay. So then the next episode, I'm like, well, I should probably start him a YouTube channel. Let's start a YouTube channel from scratch, TikTok channel from scratch, and let's upload the videos on there as well. And again, you're still doing the podcast, right? So week 2, week 3, steady goes along. We kind of miss a week here and there because of my schedule. And then all of a sudden, he starts appearing on these national shows, right? And I'm not starstruck with anybody really. I'm not also like, I got to do it because you're on this show. Like, I don't have that feeling. It's like if you're passionate about a project, no matter what, it doesn't matter. The good will come. Either the work or it doesn't. Just like this animated stuff. It's like, you can't go into it like, hey, will you post this? Will you put? No, you just do it. And if it's good, it'll get seen. And then if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But then, so Vince is on these shows and interviews, and I start seeing his hits go up. And I'm like, man, okay, all right, well, this is. And then I'm kind of on the fence. I'm like, man, I was so busy. We just signed a couple new clients. He was like, listen, let's just try it. So then I literally that day, be honest with everybody on this podcast, something clicked in my brain. I was like, let's give it all that Media Squatch has from a marketing standpoint. Let's throw everything at it that you can, that you're in your wheelhouse. Like if you need to explore alternative methods, all that stuff. So that's what we've been doing. So a couple of weeks ago, we actually started really purposefully marketing this. And I'm talking from everything from the little stuff, tidying up the Twitter account with graphics, tidying up the YouTube channel with new banners, new thumbnails for each episode, tags, descriptions. On X, getting purposeful about the posting, the titles, all that stuff. Really start to dive deeper into, okay, well, let's see how this is not a company. This is a personality. Let's dive into this. And what do you know, everybody? What do you know? It actually works. We're actually fairly good, it looks like, at promoting individual personalities. Who would have thought, right? No, but he's been on these shows. Like we've actually started a website for his stuff, VinceSpeaksTruth.com. It's got all this stuff on there. And like today was a pretty, I don't know, internally significant day because we started from scratch, right? It's zero, like ground zero with our promotional stuff. He's been doing these interviews for a while. He's had books and he has had a presence, but not video presence, right? Well, then today we actually submitted to monetize YouTube. We're actually qualified now to monetize that YouTube channel. And it's just a really like, okay, well, this is kind of fun. Like this is absolutely, it's not Mr. Beast at all, right? But like you have tried at something and worked at it, been steady, and then actually sunk your teeth into a different form of marketing. So instead of crafting a 30-second local commercial or doing this, like the expanding your skill set and your knowledge for today's platforms, it was very, I don't know, it was like a cool little moment for Media Squatch because now it's like I've even brought on another editor and to do promos, to do videos. And so now this editor, he's part-time right now, probably full-time soon. I've loaded his plate up to help out so we can do it. So we're growing in a way that I never anticipated. And let me tell you this, because like back in the day, I hated the idea of working remote. I did not like any part of it. I thought it was like, I liked personally working remote, but like when you're a business owner and you have employees, it's always like a thing of self-doubt, like, oh man, they're not working. Like, cause I know me on a day off, whatever. But now I'm getting into this new world. And like, I think that's what Media Squatch has brought me into with the new branding, new, kind of shook off the old. And now I'm more open to this stuff. So now we go from having two of us locally to really being busy and kind of being limited in what we can offer. Like, you know, you do commercials, you do some social media, to now in the last 6 months, truly expanding into fields that are global and then putting content out there for other individuals, not necessarily content that I do. So it's like, of course, I think every bit of us wants to do a podcast and it's like Joe Rogan and it gets on the charts. I think all of us business owners like me, if I'm creating for somebody else, secretly part of me is like, well, I want to get the hits that they get. How come I can't get, well, I don't have the audience. I'm not as good either. Vince is awesome. Miami RN 88 is awesome. Like they do really good. And it's like, maybe I'm not at that level, but it's also, if you take a second, and I think the lesson I'm learning is I set aside my pride and really kind of dive deep into other people's stuff that you would your own or company or whatever, that, you know what, like if you attack the marketing of that, you know, in the same way you attack that you know what, you maybe will pay off. So it's just funny that networking and two random paths crossing, I would say with Vince, it's like, man, this is like, I just did not expect this. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, wow. Well, today we've got a channel that's finally, it's starting to be monetized. Like how flattering, how awesome is that? And then you have an influencer that has hundreds of thousands of followers reposting your stuff. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. And you're just kind of diving into this new world that you've been tinkering in and you've been doing or selling ads for. And then all of a sudden you start morphing into content creation and you just want people to see your stuff. I want people to see this stuff so that hopefully, yes, I would love to be contacted by Mountain Dew one day and do an awesome animated fun commercial for them for the Super Bowl. You know how awesome that would be to have a Media Squatch commercial in there? And that's the name of the game, folks. Name of the game. Getting on the Diet Dew commercial. I'm telling you. But yes. So, Media Squatch. I think we're growing, guys. I think I'm pretty proud. Pretty proud of old Media Squatch. And listen, if you see some Woody Land stuff, show Woody Land show some love. That's just gonna be my off the wall platform. I just want you to kind of go there. You might giggle, you might think I'm kind of crazy. I'm not. But you know, I just do it for the do, y'all. Do it for the do.
And that's a wrap, folks.